What is going on, everybody? Today we are on Call of Dragons, which is an MMO fantasy conquest game that we're going to be checking out. Now, I rarely get excited for new releases, but this one definitely has me excited because of all the aspects that it has and also all the strategy that goes into it. Now, there's going to be a ton of things that we need to go over, so I'm going to try to break it down as much as I can. But before we get into that, there is going to be a download link down in the description and in the comment section if you are wanting to download it. And also there is a code right down below, right here, play COD now, that you can use to get a nice bonus once you do. So if you are going to be doing it, make sure that you follow the link down in the description and in the comment section. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the game just overall. The first thing that you notice is that you see that you have my village here, and you also see some of my troops. But what's really interesting is how all of this works with the map. Now, the map is an interactive map, and what I mean by that is you see here where my troops are, and you see my village, but once you zoom in, you can actually see what I have going on here. All my extra buildings, my resources, the troops that I'm training, resources, etc. So it's very, very cool to see it. You see everything, and then you zoom out, and then you just see it as this one specific building. But it does not stop there, because when I mean interactive map, I mean it. If you scroll down even more, take a look at this. Now all you see is just things, icons that'll tell you what's going on in the map. And if you scroll down even more to zoom out, you can see just how much is going on in this map. But for you to get a real idea of how big this map is, just take a look at this. I'm going to try to zoom out as much as I can. And you'll see, like, all of this area is map. But the biggest difference here is that you don't actually get the full map right away. You have to scout around the area that you're in order to see what's going on. Now, there are some things that actually clear up the map like this, right? But outside of that, like especially around where I'm at right now, all of this that I can see is things that I've scouted. So if I wanted to get more information here, I would actually have to go send a scout, and that's where they're going to go. And they're going to go ahead and scout that area. That way it's actually visible to me. So this map is highly, highly interactive. And just take a look at how much is going on. Whether it's resources, monsters, etc. Everything that you can get, you can actually take a look at the map and go like this. Or you can zoom in and get more of the action that's actually happening. So very, very nice, and a huge map at that. Now, the other thing that I want to mention also is that this is a free roam. So that means that if my troops are here, I can actually just go ahead and go wherever I want with them. So, you know, even if I'm trying to fight something all the way over here, so long as my troops can reach it, I can just free roam it, attack that, and go somewhere else. So you're not just stuck where your castle is or your village. You can actually go ahead and go and explore in your own pace. Now, of course, a map this big will also require to have a nice search function, and this game does that. So if you're looking to fight, whether it's the patrols like this, right, you'll have them right here. You can search whatever level it is that you're looking for, whether it's weaker ones, the strongest ones you can fight, etc. This will make it easier for you to find on the map. Dark creatures and darkling guards, all of this you can actually just go ahead and do through this search feature. And if you're looking to get some resources and gather, you can also just go ahead and do that like this. So you don't necessarily have to go and zoom out and then look for specific things and then go to it. This search function makes it so incredibly easy to find anything you're looking for at any time that it's just so nice to see. That way you don't have to worry about searching the map to look for a certain thing. It's really, really nice. And the other thing that I want to point out is that in the overworld, you actually see these things that are moving around, and it's kind of like it feels alive. It feels like there's always something going on. There's always something that you can actually go and try to fight. You have these monsters that pop up also, which are very, very strong. And so there seems to be always something going on, especially when you start running into other enemies, for like other players, etc. And that's where battles will probably start popping off when you try to go for a certain goal or a certain monster, etc. and you catch somebody in the overworld. That's where a lot of the battles are going to be had, and that's where a lot of fun is going to be had. Now, with that being said, let's get to one of my favorite parts, is the heroes. The heroes bring so much different aspects to the game. Now, you have your regular like legendary heroes, you have your purple heroes, blue heroes, etc. But what's really interesting here is that every hero is useful, no matter if they're gold, purple, etc. Why? Because if you take a look at these heroes, let's take a look at Emrys for this example. Now, it says here that Emrys is a cavalry hero, excels at leading cavalry units. It is a PvP hero, meaning that you're more, it's more in tune to fighting other players, and his mobility has faster march speed and is highly mobile in battle. So if you take a look at cavalry PvP, this is a hero that's going to excel in trying to ambush other players in the open field because you're going to be able to move faster, etc. So this is what he excels at. Now, if you take a look at other heroes, like let's take a look at Garwood, he excels at leading infantry units, but he's also a garrison hero, which means that he excels at staying in your village and leading if you are being attacked. And he is a tank. So if you take a look at all of these heroes, they all have their own little things that they excel at. And so it's up to you to put them in their best position with their best troops, etc. That way they can excel and help you as much as you can. Because, for instance, if you go back to Emrys, he excels at cavalry and mobility. So if you put him with infantry and slow mobility, he's not really going to do the best. Now, is he still going to be useful? I'm sure. But you're basically not really putting him in the best position to win. So this is where all the chess matches come into play, making sure that you're using your heroes correctly and trying to bring the best out of them. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is that all the heroes have skills that you can actually use. And also being able to use these skills to your advantage, depending on the hero and what troops you're going to be putting them together with. It's going to go a long way into making sure that you get the best you can out of these heroes. And the best thing is the talents. Now, the talents, as you level them up, you get 1 point per level. And you get these talent trees that you can go into. Now, the first one is fairly simple to go up. And then you'll have like the split where you can go left, right, or straight ahead. Now, if you go left, you're going to go towards more focus on leading the cavalry units. If you go straight forward, it's going to be more focused on PvP. And if you go to the right, it's going to be more focused on mobility, moving fast, etc. So you can maybe see the same hero, but the talents are going to make them clearly different depending on which way you choose to go, because depending on where you go, the hero can be completely different and can act completely different. And that is for every single hero. So if you take a look at Garwood, right, you go up and then you see you can focus on him being an infantry hero to lead your infantry, or you can focus on him being a garrison hero to lead your troops if you're being attacked, or you can focus on him being a tank. So all of these heroes have different talents, different skills that you can put together. And all of these differences, whether it's the skills, the talents, etc., can mean that you can meet the same heroes on the battlefield, but they're going to be completely different than what you're using yours for. So you're going to see a bunch of different varied heroes, even though they're the same. So it's a very, very nice way to go about it. And to go even further than that, you also have what we call the artifacts. And an artifact is something that a hero can use in battle that will give you certain benefits and also give you some skills that you can use. So for this one, Crown of the Berserker, which I have on Emrys, it gives you cavalry unit attack 5%, because remember, he is a cavalry hero. Legion attack 6%. And if you take a look at this, it says that it gives you keen attack plus 12%. March speed plus 20%, which remember, he's also a mobility hero, so it works well. And defense minus 10% for the enemy. So all of this, I figured it was a great artifact to use on him. And there is so many different artifacts that you can actually use. Right now, I have quite a bit. So you see here that a lot of these artifacts have different uses and also boost certain things. So this one will give you magic unit HP. You have peacekeeping damage, which is basically if you're not attacking other people, you're just attacking the monsters and stuff like that. That gives you more damage for that. And so depending on which ones you're using and the heroes that you're using it for, plus or the skills and the talents, you have so much variety that you can focus on depending on what you're focusing on then, which will make it super, super nice. And if for some reason you don't like the way that you're going and you rather do something else, you can always reset and reallocate those points. So nothing is forever. Now, another amazing aspect of this is there's actually 3 different factions that you can choose to use. Now, as you can tell right now, I'm using the orcs. And for the troops that you can use, you have your infantry units, which will be here. These are the ones that I can actually use. This is infantry. Then you have the range units that I can use, which will be the spearmen on this one. You have the cavalry units. And then you have your magic units. Now, these are the ones for the orcs. Now, there are also flying units, which we will get to in just a second. But if you ever want to change, let me go ahead and show you what this was. This was the one that looks like for me, for the orcs. Now, if you take a look at here, this would be for the humans. This is what it's going to look like. So it has a completely different vibe from mine. So it really depends on which one you kind of like better. And then where's the other one? Let me see if I can find the other one. Right here. This will be the elves. I mean, look at this. This is a completely different vibe. But the way that you actually go ahead and do that is you go to faction and you hit this. And it'll give you an option to change. Now, if you take a look here, you have these are the axemen, the infantry and melee. You have marksmen and that are range. Essentially the same ones we went over, right? This is the ones that you're going to use for gathering. The wolf riders, which is cavalry, and then the marksmen and range and flying, which is the wyvern riders for these. Now, if you go to the other one, this will be the humans. You have the same troops in a sense that they're going to do the same thing. They're infantry, magic, cavalry, range, etc., right? But they have a completely different look. Take a look at what the flying units, which will be celestials instead of a wyvern for these. And so you saw that it has a completely different look. Now, if you take a look at this one, once again, you have marksmen, infantry, you have magic, the gatherers, you have the cavalry, and then the flying unit, which is the forest eagles. And when you do this, not only are your troops going to be different, but also the whole look of your village. So just go with the one that actually gives you the best vibe for you, the one that you like the most. For me, it was definitely the orcs, because I like the look of the whole city and the troops and all of that, but it can be different for somebody else. Now, there are a couple of ways that you can improve everything in your village, whether it's your strength, your gathering, etc. The first one being research, which a lot of you are probably familiar with already. You go ahead and you either go through economy or through military, depending on which one you want to go through first. But essentially, you go through here, and this is how you're going to start unlocking the higher tier troops, etc., more strength, and all of that. And through the economy, you start getting better, like gathering, resources, and all of that good stuff. So depending on what you're focusing on, you can go ahead and go through that. Maybe you can do both. It's really up to you, but research here is what you expect. Now, the other one that's kind of a wild card is the notice board, and specifically policies. Now, policies is also another thing that will help you increase your strength. You have military expansion, targeted tactics, a little bit of everything, right? Now, when you're going to go ahead and do this, what's actually going to take is what's called prestige. And prestige you can get from Dragon Trail or Behemoth Acolytes, which are different game modes that will give you this items. Now, if you go ahead and go through Dragon Trails, here's how this is going to work. This is something that you get as AFK. As you see here, I'm getting 165 per hour. But as you do this and as you keep improving, you can go ahead and challenge these and it'll give you certain ones. And all this is basically, especially at the beginning, is getting you used to how to use your troops in conjunction with each other. So as you see here, I have my infantry units and my cavalry units, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this. So I'm gonna use my infantry to lead the attack right here, and then I'm gonna have my cavalry take out the ones in the back. So as you see here, it's kind of like you want to make sure that you know how you want to go ahead and tackle this. So they're gone. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cavalry's mobility to take out the ones in the back. And now that I did that, I can ambush this from the back. And you see how it says surrounded? It gives me a ×2 boost. So a lot of this is strategy in making sure that you know how the units work, how to best utilize them, and then once you kind of get the gist of it all, once you get a little bit further in this, then it starts getting a little bit more challenging, etc. But this is also a nice way to get prestige. That way you can start or you can keep getting some more of those researches. And so let me go ahead and show you what a battle would look like. So in this case, what you can do is you can actually go ahead and attack one of these. Now this is a pretty strong one, so I'm gonna go ahead and send 3 different units. I'm gonna send my infantry, my cavalry, and my mages, because I also have an infantry cav and mage hero to go along with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and march, and I'm gonna show you how you can start using this to your advantage in the open world. Okay, now I've positioned my troops how I want them, so I'm gonna start with a range unit to target them right here. That way I can make them come to me. And then I'm going to use my infantry to stop them where it's coming from, right here. And then I'm going to use my cavalry to come from behind, like this. And now, take a look at these. I'm going to start using, there we go. I'm going to start using my abilities and my skills. And from there, I can go ahead and start getting the best of this monster, okay? So remember, I'm going to be using my artifacts as well. So the artifacts, this one is actually going to be healing me. And so now, I'm not only am I getting a bunch of damage from it, my heroes are using their abilities, and my my artifacts are also helping me quite a bit. And I was able to do that by luring them with a range unit and then surrounding them from there. So all of this really takes skill. If I didn't do that, my mages would have probably gone down pretty easily, just because they don't have the best HP. And so you can do this a lot with these monsters, and also it'll give you an idea of what you're gonna have to do against other players, because other players are going to be using things like this to go up against you in your guild. And also don't forget about the flying units, which I'm going to show you right now. Now, flying units, as you can see here, are going to unlock a completely different strategy in the game, because they can fly over things. Look at this. They can go ahead and go over that, whereas other units won't be able to, like infantry, cavalry, etc. They can just go ahead and fly over obstacles and surround your enemies from behind. And this will also give you an idea of what the large-scale battles look like, and how the flying units will make a big difference as far as strategies. If you're using the ranged units correctly, it can turn the battle. So the flying units, the ranged units, make sure that you use them right. And this is just touching the surface of this game, because this is still early game. So just imagine everything that's going to open up as you keep improving. I didn't even get to touch much on the season adventures, which is like the story mode of this game, which is amazing. The cinematics are also really, really good. And the story is actually very engaging, because it actually has you answering questions, and depending on how you answer it, it can have different responses from different heroes and things like that. So it's very nice. And also, if you ever get lost or you ever need a little bit of guidance, you have these quests and these challenges with rewards that you can follow in order to keep up with everything that you need to do. So I'm really excited about this game. I think it has a lot of promise, and it's gonna be a great game. So make sure that if you're interested, go ahead and download it. The link is going to be down in the description and in the comment section. And remember to use the code PLAYCOD now for some extra goodies. As my kitty comes and says bye-bye. But yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through. Let me know what you guys think of the game so far. And if you're downloading it, let me know. But yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through. And until later, bye.
Magic Monsters Mastery.